What's up, amigos? Commander Jaime here today, and we hit 500 subscribers. Like, holy crap, right? We actually hit that count a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't want to like jump the gun. It's like, oh, I hit 500, and then, we go back to 499. So I just wanted a couple weeks just to settle in and also just get some of those Night Rose videos out there for everybody that's been just very excited about. Today, I just wanted to say thank you guys, to be honest, for those people that have been here since the very beginning when I had, 0 subscribers and then eventually to, 13 and then 50 and then 100 and 200 and to all the people that had just recently subscribed this year as well, hitting that 500 count. It means a lot, for real. To be honest, when I started this, I did not know where this channel could even go as far as, Vanguard content or even the experiences that I've been encountering throughout the years, which I'm very grateful. And honestly, you're probably asking what's the next big goal, and the next big goal is just hitting the 1,000, the 1,000 number basically. And I'm excited for that, and I can see myself with your guys' support actually hitting that count probably by the end of the year. So I'm gonna be very ambitious, and I'm gonna say that we're gonna hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. For those who are watching and have not subscribed yet, I would appreciate y'all if you can just subscribe and also hit that bell button just to be, on the daily updates. I've been posting a lot more frequently than I have in the past couple years. I'm going to be quite honest. And I started this channel back in September 2016. So it's been almost 4 years, and it's crazy how time flies. And to be quite frank, I have not been fully active during those 4 years. And I would say I even took a year and a half of hiatus, a little bit a break from the game as well. But I knew that I was going to come back, and that's what happened this year. And now you're seeing a lot more content, even the creation of the Granblue the creation of the Granblue blog, Rogue of the Seven Seas, right? And it's just very exciting time, even though we're going through a pandemic, which no one saw coming. But it was just it's very exciting and be in full force. And honestly, the other thing that I wanted to just take a few minutes, really, just to kind of slow down, and two things I want to accomplish. One, I just want to show that sometimes we get caught up with YouTubers or other social media platform people that we know and respect. They have some influence, they have some impact, and even myself to a certain level. And I realized that sometimes we forget that they're just people like us. They're just card fighters like us that we play. We go to shops, we trade cards. We go on Discord, we hop on CFA. We're just like you. And I wanted to highlight a little bit about that, and also for the people that are always wanting to start their own YouTube channel, maybe their own blog, whatever social media platform that you want to start. Like, how do you take that first step? And I think I'll intertwine with those both with a little bit of my story, just a little bit. And honestly, I came from a Yu-Gi-Oh background, so I went from a casual player to a competitor player in the Yu-Gi-Oh scene, and eventually I picked up Vanguard due to my friends, and I didn't take it as serious. I picked it up at 2014. The year was 2014, and I didn't take it as serious until 2015. I picked up Genesis and Nubatama thanks to my friends. I really appreciate them for even showing me the game to begin with. None of this would have been possible without them, so I appreciate you, especially, close friends like Ross, Will, Miguel, Eduardo, Jamal, and so many of the other people that I've had over the years too. And with that, in the competitive scene, my third clan was Aquaforce. And so if you guys have seen a lot of my content, a lot of that gears to Aquaforce, you know. And so that really started that mindset of like, well, I'm going to take the competitiveness that I've learned from Yu-Gi-Oh! Into Vanguard. And that's where Aquaforce with Favas and Lambros, GBT02 days, the trial duck days. It was just a very exciting time and really learning. And what I've always wanted to do was to post a deck profile, because through Yu-Gi-Oh, we've seen a lot of deck profiles. We've seen phenomenal people that have done, they explain their experiences, they explain their combos, and it's a lot of value that you can get from a deck profile video from Yu-Gi-Oh, but it wasn't as common with Vanguard. I think it's because Yu-Gi-Oh has been around longer. It happens at the bigger base. It's just how it is. But with Vanguard, I started looking into Aquaforce deck profiles, seeing Japanese deck profiles, results, tournaments, all that kind of stuff. And I found myself, and I think many of you, where you start looking at a certain deck profile and you keep looking as many as you can just to see like, okay, what can I learn from these players? What's the good list, you know? Well, so that way I don't waste too much time to reinvent the wheel, or where can I have a good start? And you're just excited and you want to try out a new deck, and what are these people's enthusiasm, their actual experiences that you could just take and actually just start, you know, playing however, what level that you want, right? Casual or competitive, it doesn't matter. You're excited either way. And honestly, a lot of the deck profiles sometimes I ran into, just it was the same flow. You know, they talked about title, they talked about Stacia, they talked about, you know, their other grade 3 options, and there wasn't much depth with them. And in fact, you know, once in a blue moon, I would see a deck profile that would reference another deck profile. And it's like, oh, the only reason that I'm playing 4 copies of this card is because the other guy did it, and that's it. It's not really helpful, you know. And I always appreciated those experiences, the in-depth analysis, the experience, just thinking ahead, especially if you're going to a tournament. Those are very, very helpful. You just, you know, it's already bad enough that you're trying to figure out all the metagame that could be at your local area. Not every area is similar in metagame. I mean, there's some similarities, but it's not always going to be what you expect sometimes. I've gotten in the mindset where it's like, I'm going to face nothing but Overlord, and I'm playing Aqua Force, so I'm going to prepare a lot with Overlord. And honestly, I would go with a day maybe facing 1. And everything else was like everything else. Chaos, Granblue, Angel Feather, whatever. And with that, I just wanted to provide some value. And I think this is where it kind of transitioned into, how do I start my own YouTube channel? And that's where it's like, even if I recorded myself, who would watch this, right? Who knows me? Except for my friends that I had to go to locals with. You kind of like overthink it, and you talk yourself out of it sometimes. And I've done that up to the point where I finally got into Vanguard, and finally I had to convince myself to, once I got enough results, and it doesn't have to mean that you have to get results at a tournament to do a video, but for me, it took me to go to an ARG event that was a qualifying event for ARG Nationals when they hold them years ago for Vanguard and Yu-Gi-Oh! And DBZ, all those kind of tournaments. And it took me to get my invite to travel to Philadelphia, which is like the East Coast. I actually in the Midwest, in the Chicagoland area. So that's some dedicated driving. We drove 11 hours out there, participated in the tournament. It was a 200-person event. You could only play if you were invited out through their events or through their people, basically. And I made it to top 16, and they recognized top 16. So not only did they did the top 8, they did top 16. And I placed 10th place overall, and I was playing 7 Seas Granblue. But with the qualifier, I used Blue Way Aqua Force. So I had Aqua Force and Granblue that honestly were very solid deck profiles that I wanted to share. And it took me that level. It's like, well, I have results. I have something to say that will provide value to anybody that can just pick up this video, spend a couple minutes, maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes, however long it comes out, and get something out of it for real. And hopefully help them with something in their life in playing the card game, right? Like if it's a casual player, then they can have more of a fun time deck building casually, or a competitive player can like, that's a good tip. That's going to help me in that matchup or something. And I just wanted to do that. That's all. And once I had the opportunity, at that point I was in an apartment. My wife was my girlfriend at the time, and basically I got to the apartment before she would, and I would have some time to actually record myself. So I sat there in my apartment, put my phone there, didn't have a tripod, you know, mess with some kind of orientation just to record myself. It felt awkward. I didn't know how to come across in this video, and I was just like, I'll see if I'll talk in a manner that it sounds like I know what I'm talking about. And I did that with 7 Seas. As you can see that video, I got a little more comfortable at the end of it. And then with my second video was the Aqua Force one, and that was the Blue Wave one, and I felt like that one came more authentic off of me. It was just something that I was more comfortable speaking about. Obviously I dove a lot of my time into Aqua Force, so that's naturally one of my most comfortable clans. And I started realizing that this is not something that you know right off the back. And then I upload into YouTube. You know, you have to learn some finagling with video editing a little bit. I started out with the YouTube editor, something very basic at the time, and put music here, and it was kind of like ugly. I'll be honest, it wasn't the best. It wasn't my best work, and that's okay, especially if you're starting off. And but it's something that I was like, yeah, this I could put on YouTube, and if anybody watches it, great, you know. And a couple weeks later, somebody by the name of Alan Smith, I saw on Facebook that had top with Blue Wave, which was one of my deck profiles that I posted up. And I congratulated him because we're like, we need more Aquaforce people, we need more Blue Wave people also. We loved all of us too, don't get me wrong, but we also, I love seeing Blue Wave as well. And he said, thank you, I really appreciate that because it was because of you I was able to get my top at this event. I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, from where? Like, I didn't even know you. And we started, private messaging on Facebook. It's like, I actually saw your video. And you pointed out some things that really made me realize the deck had more potential than I thought in my head. I'm like, wow, and without going into the details, I felt touched. I impacted somebody that I didn't know, and they took my video and he watched it 20 minutes beforehand, and he made the changes to his Blue Wave profile and actually did really well with it. And I think I did a good enough job with my video that it kind of showed him how to pilot it and do some key turns and see some key plays as well. And I'm very detailistic when it comes to my profiles, and I just do my best to concise that information because I know it can be a lot sometimes, but I always wanted to share little things and big picture things that honestly just help the overflow experience of the deck that you're even watching or even plan to play with or already improve from. So that's why my videos tend to be 20, 30 minutes and maybe one time 40 minutes. Especially for those people that just don't have the attention span, but it's okay. You can skip ahead. I'm trying to make it better for those people so they can see the deck list and then go on their day. But and it started there, 3 subscribers, 9 subscribers, 13. And as I got my name out there, I developed relationships. I got into Discords. Force of the Ocean became a thing. Eventually, fast forward, there's Axis Vanguard. There's the blog now. There's other YouTubers that I've honestly saw as like icons that I can talk to now. A big one was Cardfight King. So shout out to Cardfight King. You've been like one of the oldest YouTubers for Aquaforce that represented, Aqua Life baby. Always love watching your videos, and I still do today. Your personality is awesome, and just being able to get on the phone on Discord with him or even on Facebook, it's really cool. And I'll take it back that, I realized that there are people just like us. We're just card fighters, and I'm always willing to uplift, help, share any value, share any information to the best of my ability. If I'm not completely sure, I will be transparent with you. So if you guys are very engageful in the comments, with constructive feedback, that's always appreciated. It lets me know that I'm doing the right thing with what I'm doing, and that way I can just focus on those things and continue to do them at my to the best of my ability. So that way you guys can actually know what you're looking for when you watch one of my videos and expect something out of it once you finish with them. And so that's my goal, and it's really cool. And I know this video is a little long, and I know it's like the 500 subscribers video, but it's something that I wanted to share those two things. Like, I'm just like you. I'm a card fighter like you. And you just got to start ugly sometimes with your own YouTube platform or media platform. And the biggest thing that I think I've learned along the way with the YouTube stuff is that I've seen people on Reddit or Facebook, and they talk about asking the people, like, what would you like to watch? Instead of, what would they want, And so they sometimes come from like, oh, my team and I, or my shop and I, or myself, I want to create a YouTube channel, but what would you guys watch, And I think that would impact the longevity of you doing the YouTube channel, to be honest. If you are doing content that you are not passionate about, or you're not enthusiastic about, or just excited and always thinking about, in a good way, it gets exhausting. I don't think you can have that longevity. And we've seen plenty of people that have started very strong, and then after 6 months or even 12 months, they're no longer around. Life happens, I get that, but I think that's another factor that puts it against you, is that there was something in Vanguard that was lacking that I saw that I wanted to see more. And so if I were to wake up in the morning to my favorite YouTuber or favorite blogger, and I wanted to see a certain content from them, then why not just do it myself and provide that? And I'm sure there's plenty of people that also want that, But the biggest step with any endeavor is making that first step. It's like the hardest step because you start overthinking, you start having these thoughts, and like nobody's gonna watch this, all that. I was there, and I encourage you for anybody who's watching. So I didn't mean to be a long video, but it is what it is. That's how I am. So some of you are probably just listening, and in the future, there's gonna be more videos, deck profiles, more Granblue profiles. Nightbros is a big thing right now. Davos and Lambros are coming out, so I'm very excited. The other thing that I want to ask you guys, I'll make this a public announcement too. I'm gonna have a a questions and answers video as well. So if you guys have any other questions about Vanguard or even myself or the whole community aspect, that's fine too. I'll make a video about that. So with that in mind, so people who have still remained at the end of this video, leave it a like, comment down below, share, and subscribe so we can hit the 1,000 mark. All right, guys? All right, have a good one. Bye.